The live flaying of the corrupt Judge Sisamnes. Exploring history, one occasionally encounters intersections of medicine, science, and art that take on a chilling hue, as the corrupt actions of criminals and the imposition of punishments that extend beyond mere physical torment evoke a sense of horror and revulsion, serving as a cautionary tale for all ages. One such intersection was masterfully depicted by the renowned Renaissance artist Gerard David in a painting. With exceptional skill, he illustrated the terrifying story that echoes through the corridors of history, the live flaying of the corrupt Judge Sisamnes. In the realm of Renaissance art, few paintings evoke the profound intensity and moral gravity found in Gerard David's work. Created in the late 15th century, this diptych painting not only showcases David's remarkable ability to convey human emotions and anatomy, but also serves as a poignant commentary on the intertwining of power, ethics, and medical knowledge during a tumultuous period in European history. Through its dramatic portrayal of punishment in relation to human physiology, it invites a deeper exploration of why those in positions of authority utilize medical knowledge in their governance and punitive actions. Sisamnes was a corrupt judge in the 5th century BC whose life met a horrific end at the behest of the king of that era. Accused of accepting bribes and delivering unjust judgments, he was sentenced to be flayed alive. Before the execution of the sentence, the king asked Sisamnes whom he would like to appoint as his successor. Driven by greed, Sisamnes introduced his son, Attanes. The king agreed and appointed Attanes in place of his father. However, he subsequently deemed it wise to mandate that the flayed skin of Sisamnes be used as the covering for the judge's chair, serving as a stark reminder to the new judge of the potential consequences of corruption. Thus, after the execution, Sisamnes' skin was transformed into leather strips to adorn his son's judicial seat, becoming a grim witness to his crimes. The horrifying account of Sisamnes' fate stands as a stark reminder of the depths of darkness and depravity to which a power-hungry individual can descend. With Attanes' succession, each time he sat in his father's chair, he was forced to confront the heavy reality of his father's dreadful actions and execution, prompting him to place special emphasis on justice and fairness in his own judgments. The late 15th and early 16th centuries were associated with significant social, political, and religious transformations. The rise of humanism challenged traditional authority, while the Protestant Reformation questioned the moral foundations of established institutions. In this situation, the character of officials emerged as both guardians of social order and potential symbols of corruption. Sisamnes, the corrupt judge depicted in David's painting, represents the failure of justice and the moral decay that can accompany unchecked power. During the Renaissance, interest in anatomy and medicine surged due to the revival of classical texts and an increasing emphasis on empirical observation. Artists like Gerard David were at the forefront of this movement, utilizing their understanding of human anatomy to create images that conveyed both beauty and horror. The precise rendering of Sisamnes' body as he is flayed alive demonstrates the artist's keen awareness of human physiology. The muscles, arteries, and blood vessels are depicted with such accuracy that they underscore the artist's skill and knowledge. In this environment, those in power realized that an understanding of anatomy could enhance their ability to control and punish. Medical knowledge provided insights into pain thresholds, physical vulnerabilities, and healing processes. This information proved useful not only for physicians, but also for judges and enforcers seeking to administer justice effectively and smoothly. By understanding how the human body functions, authorities could devise punishments that maximized suffering while minimizing consequences, reflecting both a scientific mindset and a brutal pragmatism. Thus, Sisamnes' live flaying served as a stark reminder of how medical knowledge could be employed as a tool of power. It was a calculated display of authority that exploited the characteristics of the human body. By exposing muscles and organs, the punishment of the criminal became a grotesque spectacle aimed at imparting a significant moral lesson: corruption would face severe consequences. Moreover, this horrifying scene acted as a warning to others who might stray from the path of justice. In this way, Medical knowledge was employed not only for understanding the human body, but also for manipulating it as a means to create a symphony of terror and pain for social control. While medical knowledge was used in the service of punitive actions, it also held the potential for compassion and healing. The Renaissance was accompanied by advancements in medicine that improved public health and individual well-being. However, this highlighted the duality of the complex relationship between power and knowledge. While some used medical understanding to inflict suffering, others sought to alleviate it. In David's painting, this tension is vividly embodied in Sisamnes' figure. The artist showcases both corruption and its consequences through physical punishment, while simultaneously revealing the inherent moral flaws of the corrupt judge's character. This painting serves as both a cautionary tale against the abuse of power and an affirmation of the darker aspects of human nature. The method of live flaying as a form of punishment in the past exemplified a convergence of medicine, science, and art in a horrific display of power and control by the ruling authority. The punishment of live flaying faced criminals like Sisamnes with a terrible plight as they lost their protective shield, their skin. The fear instilled in them without this vital defense mechanism was palpable, exposing them to unimaginable suffering and vulnerability. The psychological impact of being deprived of skin, the body's natural armor, intensified the physical torment inflicted upon them during the brutal process of live flaying. This act was not merely a physical torment, it was a social psychological weapon that, depending on the ruler's decision regarding its severity, could last from several hours to several days, serving as a reminder to society of the consequences of such crimes. The medical advancements of the Renaissance had largely familiarized the ruling class with the characteristics and properties of skin. They understood that skin acts as a barrier against pathogens, toxins, and physical injuries, preventing infections and damage to vital organs. It regulates body temperature by retaining heat and moisture, which are essential for optimal physiological function. The sensory receptors in the skin connect humans to their surroundings, allowing them to perceive touch, pain, and temperature changes. Furthermore, the skin is intertwined with nerves, veins, and arteries that deliver nutrients and oxygen to the underlying tissues, ensuring their proper functioning. When a part of a criminal's skin is cut without anesthesia using surgical instruments, the body's initial response to pain and trauma involves the activation of the sympathetic nervous system. As the skin is being cut, blood vessels in the dermis and subcutaneous layers are also severed, leading to bleeding. Veins play a crucial role in transporting deoxygenated blood back to the heart. When these veins are cut during live flaying, blood loss can occur rapidly, resulting in hypovolemic shock, a life-threatening condition characterized by a significant decrease in blood volume. In response to this sudden loss of blood, the heart increases its rate and pumps harder to maintain circulation to vital organs. Other organs may also be affected by the severe pain and stress caused by live flaying, with an increased heart rate serving as a physiological response to compensate for the sudden loss of blood due to severed blood vessels. The heart pumps harder and faster to ensure adequate blood flow to essential organs such as the brain, heart, and lungs. This increased workload on the heart can lead to cardiac stress and potential arrhythmias. Simultaneously, blood pressure rises as a result of vasoconstriction, where blood vessels constrict to help maintain blood pressure and ensure sufficient perfusion of organs. This response is part of the body's effort to cope with hypovolemic shock caused by significant blood loss during the live flaying process. If an individual is left in this condition without intervention, multiple factors contribute to their eventual death. A combination of severe pain, hypovolemic shock, increased heart rate, and elevated blood pressure can lead to organ damage, particularly to the heart and brain. Additionally, the psychological impact of enduring such intense pain without relief can trigger a cascade of stress hormones in the body that affect various organ systems. The secretion of cortisol, adrenaline, and other stress hormones can influence metabolism, immune function, and overall homeostasis. Over time, the body's resources become depleted, and the stress response becomes unstable. The continuous activation of the sympathetic nervous system and associated physiological changes can ultimately lead to organ failure, particularly in the heart and circulatory system. Without appropriate medical intervention to address severe trauma, bleeding, and shock, an individual's condition rapidly deteriorates, culminating in a horrific death due to cardiovascular collapse or organ failure. The painting The Flaying of the Corrupt Judge Sisamnes by Gerard David is more than just a striking visual narrative. This work encapsulates the complex interplay between art, power, and medical knowledge during a significant period in history. Through its exploration of anatomy and punishment, the painting raises profound questions about ethics, authority, and the human condition, reminding everyone that the use of knowledge, whether for healing or harm, carries a heavy responsibility.